primary gifts do not show themselves academically, and how can their academic capacity be built through these activities?
And I believe that the academic capacity can be increased through these acquired interpersonal skills. And the reason I say that is because I believe that students are more likely to share their ideas with each other when they study in groups, ask for help, and receive help and teach their peers, and more importantly, recognize that they're not alone when they have the confidence behind them and the help to realize their dream career. So that's why I think they're really important, okay? And coming from the engineering realm, I will say this. I personally consider interpersonal skills just as important as
but actually that whole model of sort of like the virtual internship model, what I'm thinking is sometimes in classrooms and stuff, you know, you're doing so much learning in the classroom and that's great, but sometimes you need inspiration from outside. So kind of what other programs are out there that K through 12 schools might take advantage of that can kind of connect you to a more global, you know, community?
There is research that was done in a meta-analysis of multiple programs throughout the states, and they found that students that were involved in social and emotional curriculum, intentional curriculum, had an 11% academic raise in their standardized test scores. So it had no academic component to it, but because their social and emotional competencies and the environment and the instruction in the classroom changed, they saw academic performance. They also saw a higher increase in voice, which I think is interesting, and also specifically boys that had been prior noted as having behavioral conduct.
While we are prioritizing the academia, and we are prioritizing making sure our test scores are rising and we're providing the best learning experience for students, the best learning experience here, we need to back the train up, because before you can get there, you have to address what our students are going through, how to help them be the best that they can be, which comes from identifying and strengthening all of the pieces of what's going on in your world. And like you said, have we taught explicitly how to do that? I mean, have we really taught what kindness is? Have we really taught what empathy is? Mm-hmm. And we have to figure out how to cultivate that more. And I think that that's falling out a lot of times from the discussion just because of the emphasis on test scores. But I think that they're going to be interwoven, and hopefully we'll swing back more quickly.
Because we need just to start, right? And easy entry points, because this is all built in, and getting all of us to sort of figure out how do we at first circumvent the system to all of a sudden where it is the norm. And that's not really an answer to your question, but in the short term, it seems to be going to be how we're going to go after it, because sometimes people are not willing to get the whole